welcome to the Sales to CEO podcast. This is your host, Louis Heron. This is the only automotive podcast that shows you how to go to the next level. It is my personal mission to coach, inspire, and motivate you to go from sales to dealer principal or any level you desire. Stop making excuses and start making adjustments towards the future you want. And today we're talking about the power of working the service drive. What's up, gang? Hey, listen, today I want to show you how to make an extra $52,800 a year by just working the service drive. Listen, when we're talking about sales to CEO, we're talking about growing salespeople to management. We're talking about growing managers to GSMs and general managers. We're talking about taking GMs, finding a way to get to partnership and having some freedom, some financial freedom, and going to the next level. Maybe even those that are the truly ambitious that want to be a dealer principal. Look, I've experienced it. I've done it. I started at 20 and was able to work my way up. By the time I was 35 years old, I was involved in my first partnership. So in a short amount of time, I've been able to put some things together, guys, with no blueprint. But the good news is the Sales CEO University has the blueprint. So check that out at your free time and leisure. But today we're talking about working the service drive, the power of actually working the service drive. Now, when I say working the service drive, I know a lot of you are thinking to yourself, okay, you've heard this from your management, you've heard this from other people in the car industry, but really, like, how do you do it? And I want to share with you today really the process and how easy it is to actually convert service customers to sales customers. It's such a beautiful opportunity because you got to remember, these people are already your customers. They're already in your ecosystem, so to speak, of the dealership. They've already purchased, they're servicing, and it's a very easy conversion, but you've got to have the right words. You got to know what to say. But before we get into exactly what to say, I want to share with you quickly the numbers. I want you to really digest this for a second. Think about this for a moment. There are literally probably 30 customers a day minimum in your store right now. And some of you have 40, 50, 70, 100 customers in the service drive every single day. Literally, that's as many as 800 to 2,000 opportunities a month. Now let's flip for a second. Most of you in most stores are getting 10 ups a day, 20 ups a day, heck, maybe 30 ups a day. So you're talking about 300 to 600 opportunities that walk in the front door. Now, granted, I'll give you, they're shopping, they're searching for information, they're in the market. I understand that, but understand there's literally 40% more traffic in your service drive this morning than there is up front. Literally 40%, guys. And I want you to really understand this one point. What you need as a sales rep and what you need to sell more cars is, number one, you need opportunities, right? You need opportunities. And then you need words, right? You need skill sets. You need mindset, skill sets. You need words. You need to embody what it takes to actually learn how to convert people on the phone, on the web, face-to-face, in the service drive, prospecting at the gas station, the waitress that served you lunch. You have to get these skills down because all you need to sell more cars is opportunities. Once you identify those opportunities, now all you need is the words. You need to become skilled in your craft, an expert in your field. So again, it's so powerful to understand, really back up for a moment before I show you how to work these service customers. Understand the power of how many more opportunities you're currently getting, yet you'll sit outside and you'll wait for the up bus. You'll sit outside and maybe bitch about not getting the internet leads because you have an internet department, or maybe the phone calls are routed to a hunt group somewhere in the store where you don't get them, or maybe they're outsourced. So as a sales rep, think about your opportunities to sell cars. In today's day and market, we've got departments that are taking a lot of the opportunities. Sales guys are left with what? What walks on the street? What comes up on the lot? The problem with that is people are searching more online, they're calling more, and they're getting more home delivery, and they're coming to the dealership less and less. You have to. If you want to go to the next level, you've got to figure this out. Now, I will tell you, what I'm going to cover today is I'm going to cover some stuff that's going to get you going. But again, I have boot camps and courses that teach you the scripts, the videos that I send customers, and everything you'll need to actually work the service drive at a higher level. But let's get right into the 3 types that you're going to deal with. So when you actually make the initiative, convince yourself that this is the opportunity you need to work on. You're gonna introduce yourself to 3 types of people. You're gonna have cold, you're gonna have warm, you're gonna have hot. The first thing you need to do is identify who are you dealing with in the service drive. All right, once you make the decision to actually commit, right, not be interested in working the service drive, literally get your behind back there and realize that you got 40% more traffic daily coming on the service drive. When you finally convince yourself of that, and mind you, there's not many other people working the service drive. This is like such a huge gaping hole, an opportunity for you to sell more cars above the competition, above the other sales reps in the dealership. This is what's going to separate you from going to the next level, guys. The volume you need, the gross you need, the CSI you need. If you want to be a manager, what I'm sharing with you, not only do you have to learn how to do it and maximize it and be a master, if you're going to be a manager in the auto business, you have to learn how to teach and coach this. Right? You've got to learn it, then you've got to live it, and then you've got to be able to teach it one day. Remember, if you can't teach something that you've just learned on a podcast or on a video or through a seminar, you don't know it if you can't teach it. Right? So you've got to be able to learn it, and then you've got to live it out, do it. You got to get the reps. Most of the times I'll tell you, when you guys are going through the process of selling cars, going through the process of taking phone ups, going through the process of internet leads, the reason why most people don't grow at a rapid rate or get better more frequently is you've got to have reps, right? You've got to have many reps and opportunities. And because traffic is coming in different areas and others are handling it, you're getting less reps. So you're getting less opportunity, which means you're going to have to role play this. If you don't have the opportunities, you're going to have to role play because you're going to have to practice, drill, and rehearse, right? So we're talking about the three types you're going to run into, the cold, warm, and hot. So let's talk about the cold lead in service. Cold lead is a late model car, right? Year 2020, year 2021, year 2023, and they're driving a 2023. I mean, that's a cold lead, late model car. Customers in for their first service appointment, probably their first free oil change. Cold lead. Warm lead, somebody that has 40,000 miles on their car or more. This is the lead where now right around 35 to 45,000 miles, they need tires. The expenses are going to start to creep up. Maintenance is starting to get a little more hefty. They've already done their first major service, right? That's $300-400. Tires is coming up. This is when they're starting to think about the money they're spending on this car. And then you've got the hot leads. What are the hot leads? The hot leads are the folks that have a lot of miles on their car. Those are the folks that had suspect credit or challenge credit and had to get something when they first bought that car. Now, that car could be 2 years old. It doesn't have to be a 5-year-old car. This is the car that may have 100,000 miles on it. This is the car that maybe when you talk to the service manager or you talk to the service writer, it's got a big bill coming. This guy's got to, he's got to replace a fuel pump, and it's going to cost him $900. These are the hot leads. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is identify the three types. So how do you do that? Number one, you've got to develop a relationship with service writers. You got to let them know what you're trying to do and what your goal is. All right, and if you're really good, I've got two ways of handling this. Today we're talking about face-to-face, hand-to-hand combat. I've got a strategy in a way that I think is super powerful when the customer leaves the very next day on a follow-up call from their prior service from the day before. Maybe I'll cover that on a different podcast, but you've got to have a relationship with these service advisors so you understand this is Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, he's been with us now for 2 years, and he's had a few oil changes. Now we got to replace a fuel pump. He's going to have to spend $800. You got to know that going in. Okay, so now that we've kind of identified the opportunity, the numbers, 40% more traffic, we understand that we need more reps, we need opportunities and words. We understand the three types that we're going to deal with, right? There's cold, warm, and hot. Once we identify that, now you have to put yourself in a position of being able to communicate with these customers face-to-face. So here's how we're going to do that. Now, this is where I find that a lot of sales reps are very uncomfortable because they don't know what to say. And in the auto business, obviously, when you're selling cars and you're persuading, convincing, and influencing somebody, you've got to know what you're going to say, and you've got to know what their potential response is going to be so you know exactly what to say to that response, right? We call these objections. When you're going to approach somebody on maybe trading them out of their car, buying their vehicle, exchanging them out, whatever terminology we're going to go through, you've got to know when they respond in a negative way or not interested way, this is your opportunity to have the rebuttal. And so these are the things that we want to kind of go over. Number one, who are you? Who are you? In this scenario, you have now become part of the exchange team or the acquisition team. Hear me out. You're part of the exchange team or part of the acquisition team. Yes, you're a salesperson, but you're going to represent yourself as part of the exchange team or acquisition team, because what you want to do is you want to lead into the conversation of who you are and what you do for the dealership. Track with me here. So what you want to explain to the consumer is you want to explain to them that part of your job is to acquire inventory for the dealership. Part of your job is to acquire inventory for the dealership. So who are you? You're part of the acquisition team. You're part of the exchange team. What do? You acquire inventory for the dealership. You're part of a team of folks that does that, which you do, right? You're part of the sales team, right? And then lastly, you're going to get permission. So you're going to ask the consumer, would you allow me to offer you a free appraisal and a Carfax while you wait? Very simple question. So let's run through this together so you see how it kind of goes together. Hey, Mr. Johnson, my name is Louis Heron, and I'm actually part of the exchange team, the acquisition team here at the dealership. And what we do is we kind of look for inventory and acquire inventory for the dealership. And I couldn't help but notice that you've got a 2016 Nissan Versa. And I wanted to get your permission to see if you were okay. Would you allow me to offer you a free appraisal and a Carfax while you wait? Keywords, again, and I'm urging you to take my words and have them memorized. Keywords, would you allow, you're gaining permission, would you allow me to offer? I want to offer you something. I want to give something, right? I'm not asking for anything. I want to give, right? So would you allow me to offer you a free appraisal and a Carfax while you wait? Now, I will tell you 60% of the customers will tell you, sure, no problem. Others will say, no, I'm not interested in trading my car. Again, what's the rebuttal? Again, sir, I totally get it, totally understand. Listen, my job here is to acquire inventory. We're not necessarily talking about actually trading the vehicle today, although that could be an option. I just couldn't help but notice, and I'm part of the team that acquires inventory. We're kind of talking about actually purchasing your vehicle. At this point, the consumer may say to you, look, I'm not interested in selling my car. Mr. Johnson, honestly, had you been interested, you probably would have came and found me. I totally understand that. What I was trying to do is if I offer you a free appraisal and a free Carfax, and I was able to offer you more than what the car was worth, would that interest you? He may then again say, no, I'm not interested. Now, I'm taking this deeper into the conversation. That's only going to happen 30% of the time, believe it or not. 60% of the time, the customer's going to tell you, sure, I'll take a free appraisal. I'll take a free Carfax. I mean, what else do they have to do? They're sitting there waiting, right? So here's the deal. Once they agree, now we start building a relationship and we start asking questions about their vehicle, okay? And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and get you a free appraisal, but I do have a couple quick questions for you. And boom. Now you're right into a meet and greet and a needs assessment. We don't have to get into the details of them trading, but you're into the conversation. Remember, there's 40% more traffic. What do you have to lose to have the conversation with a consumer that's in our service department that drives our brand, our make, our model? What do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Zero. So again, once they say they're willing to have a free Carfax and a free appraisal, then we want to go ahead and build that rapport and kind of just really start to build a relationship. So there's a couple of key things I want you to understand as you're processing this, right? Before we actually meet and greet this customer, right? We want to pull the RO. We want to find out the history of the customer, and we want to find out what are they actually doing today? What work is being recommended today? How much are they going to spend? Bottom line. I need to know going in when I go meet Mr. Johnson. I know, he may not know, but he's got a $400 bill coming. Okay, he may have already been presented with a $400 bill, and they may be starting to do the work already on the car. Again, that's another opportunity to be able to refund him back that money and keep things moving. So listen, when I'm talking about the power of working the service drive, I'm going to show you by the numbers how you can make an extra $52,800 a year if you can master this and do a phenomenal job. Guys, here's the numbers. If you just talk to 5 people a day, now mind you, you could have 70, you could have 60, 5. I'm not asking you to wear people out, and I'm not asking you to do 20 a day. I'm telling you, as part of your regimen, as part of your routine on a daily basis with phone calls and catching ups and verifying appointments and doing the things you do, 5 a day is 25 a week. 25 a week is 108 a month. You should close at a bare minimum by having that many opportunities, because you know the law of numbers. It's all about the numbers. 108 customers a month at 10%, guys, is 11 car deals a month. And if you're averaging $400 commission, and you know this, and if you don't, I'll share it with you now, the service customers, the gross profit is normally tons better than it would be on a lot customer. They're not online, they're not in the market, they haven't been shopping. The gross margins are going to be better. So figuring a $400 commission is highly reasonable. 11 deals at $400 a pop is $4,400. And if you do that every single month, guys, it's a $52,000 raise. 52 grand sitting in the service department by you taking action. So look, here's the deal. I've got the scripts. I've got the videos that you would send customers. I've got a whole process of this, of what you can do, as well as the forms for how to pencil these acquisition deals. All of this is outlined in my course. The link's in the description below. But regardless of where you get the content, wherever you get the information, you need to start working the service drive. There's money sitting on the table for you to get. Guys, listen, this is Louis Heron, Sales to CEO, Sales CEO University. This is the episode. Until the next episode, keep going to the next level. Keep selling and doing what you need to do to get yourself going to the next level. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the Sales of CEO podcast. Look, real simple, do me a big favor. Number one, I'm totally grateful you took the time to listen, but share this, like, subscribe. This is how we build our network of growing people in the car industry to the next level. Again, like or share or subscribe right now. Until the next one, great selling and let's go to the next level.